Don't mind, that's Stevie's bag. He just leaves whatever everywhere. He doesn't pick up after himself. See, this is good. Look, no, look, we're good. Look, we got the wide angle. We're good. See?
No, you like the color.
I don't know about that. All right. Hey, fun for me, obviously. This guy, I know him and known his family for a long time. Tyler Stein, turning state champion at 220. Probably going to end up being the 1 seed if you want to throw 220 up there real quick. But just want you guys to talk a little bit. You know, I'm glad that Bo talked about the recruiting process. You signed with Ohio State. Make sure you're talking to this microphone too, because it does. Yeah, we're on a budget here. We don't have 3 microphones. But hey, talk about why you picked Ohio State and talk about the recruiting process, because that's important for some people, especially young guys that are going to watch it.
Well, I picked Ohio State because that was just the place I wanted to go to since I was little, and just like seeing it and seeing how well they're doing, and just like the campus, it was just perfect for me. And the recruiting process is like very tedious, and like it's tough because you want to hear back from some coaches and you don't, and you just gotta like just trust the process and just keep believing in yourself, keep working hard, and then whatever you deserve is going to come.
Coach Pitts, maybe pivot to you here. Sometimes coaches are going to talk to you. They're going to reach out to you. I know there was a long list of schools interested in Tyler. Go through some of the list of schools that were interested through the process, because I mean I remember, you know, your classroom's right next to mine, and Tyler, we got another letter, got another phone call. I mean, after you win a state championship and you start placing those national tournaments, go through that, you know, the schools that were interested in him.
I don't necessarily remember the whole list because with Tyler, it actually was pretty easy because that's the school he wanted to go to. So the discussion, it wasn't that lengthy because that's where he wanted to go. So once, you know, they started talking to him, it was pretty easy on my end. You know,
yeah.
he pretty much handled his own recruiting. And I found every kid's different over the last couple of years. Some you have to almost send every email for the kid.
Yeah.
Coaches are calling you all the time because maybe the kid may not answer or whatever. And for Tyler, he was very mature about everything he did. He handled everything on his own. And that's where he wanted to go. So for him, it was actually quite easy process. For on my end as a coach, I'm sure he was getting way more phone calls than me. But you know, there was certainly a lot of big time schools were looking at him after winning the state title last year. But you know, he had his heart set on one place, so it made it easy for me. He said he's pretty much going one place. So.
Nice, Ty, and maybe what was it like when you got that call though from Ohio State? Because I mean, you think about it. Every little kid, whether you're playing football in the backyard or you're wrestling in a tournament, you think about where you want to be, and then having Coach Ryan call you and say, "Hey, we want you to come to Ohio State." What was that like?
It was crazy. I was like, I have early release, so I get to leave school early, and I think it was the week before the state duels, and I was like getting my stuff ready for practice, and I saw like the text. And I just looked at it for like 20 minutes, and I was just staring at it. I just didn't know what to do.
We're excited for you, obviously, to go down to Ohio State. What advice would you give to younger guys? I mean, there's been a theme here, certainly. South Range, Boardman, Beaver Local, build their middle schools, really competitive freshmen. What advice would you give to ninth graders about, you know, hey, you're doing it. You're living what they'd like to do. You know, going to Ohio State, winning a state championship, hopefully too. What advice would you give to young people?
Just to trust the process and just to put your head down and keep working. I mean, it gets tough, like especially towards the end of the season. You get beat up, and you're probably not 100% just going through all the tournaments you go through. So just keeping your head up and just keep moving forward and just keep working hard.
Nice. Good advice, Coach Pitts. First of all, hey, let's tell somebody, everybody a funny story about Coach Pitts. You got something funny about Coach Pitts? What do you think? Or Coach Fletcher, or Coach Hogg, or Coach Crawford. Let's get something like on film here recorded so we could go back to it and just revisit it over and over and over again. You got anything?
I gotta think.
You're such a loyal kid. I know. You're such a loyal kid.
I'd say.
Who's the funniest kid on the? Who's the funniest coach on the staff?
Coach Crawford has a really dry humor.
Yeah.
It's not really.
It's not everybody's
No.
bag. Yeah. I
You know,
agree.
some people take it wrong.
Yeah.
But he's for sure the funniest. Coach
Yeah.
Pitt.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I thought you would go there.
Yeah.
All right.
Hog's pretty funny.
Hog's
Oh,
funny.
yeah. Yeah, he's funny.
Give that to Coach Pitts real quick. Coach, just real quick, talk about your season, what you guys have done, and what your goals are moving forward. Big weekend.
Yeah, no, huge weekend. This tournament's great. We're excited to go compete at it. We've seen a couple of these teams already, but there's a lot we haven't seen. So, get a little bit different look in the tournament. We started a little bit slow with long football season again. And we were kind of prepared for that with last year's run. They got to the same spot. This year was a little bit different because last year we pulled out of the Ironman, and this year Tyler and Anthony were like, "No, we're going." I was like, "Okay, hey, it's your season, it's your choice. I'm fine. Let's go." And those guys showed up and both placed at the Ironman, which is a huge deal. For those that don't know about the Ironman, I mean, you just got to go witness it. It's unbelievable. You get state champs go 0-2, 1-2. So those guys stepped up and competed there. And then, heading into Brecksville and other stuff like that, just kind of getting the rust off. And, I think we're finally starting to click as a team, starting to hit our stride. So, this weekend will be a big test, and we'll see where we're at.
Great. One last question for Tyler. Michael said three weeks to go from football to wrestling shape. Is that what you had, about 3 weeks? Because I'm trying to think when you finished, and then Ironman's week 2, right? So you think it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Probably
what do you think?
about that, yeah. And we still weren't in shape at Ironman.
Yeah.
We were still pretty chubby.
Just curious. Okay, hey guys, round of applause for these guys. Thank you.